Welcome to the first Metalmont virtual show. My name is Nicoletta Xenti. I'm the marketing and communication specialist in Metalmont. On behalf of our team, thank you for joining us today and for taking part in this particular event. Now I will give the floor to my colleague Isabel, who will explain a few things and give you some information about our event, and will introduce also our panelist. Thank you, Isabel.
Thank you, Nika. Hello, my name is Isabel Zanin, and I am the sales administration specialist in Metalmont. My work consists in supporting my colleague from the sales department in preparing all the needed documentation. Today, I am supporting the technical management of the virtual show, so I can give you some information. During the presentation, the microphones will be switched off, but if you have a question, you can write them in the chat box that I will be taking care of. At the end of the presentation, we will be glad to answer your questions during the Q&A session. Now, I would like to present you our panelists. Well, thank you, Nicoletta. After the greetings of the Metalmont CEO Jacopo Medini, my colleague Nicoletta will briefly explain who we are and which are our main goals. Then, the technical department manager Antonello Zanetti and the operation manager Alessandro Di Vido will talk about the Metalmont technologies and manufacturing processes. Afterwards, the sales managers Luca Sacchi and Fabio Alfieri will briefly introduce you our products together with Antonello Zanetti that will present you our two new solutions. And finally, all our sales manager will show a few case studies, some projects that Metalmont has realized in the past years. At the end, we will have the Q&A session and some useful information about the presented material. Now it's time to the welcome greetings. So Jacopo, the stage is yours. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Nicoletta, and thank you guys for joining this this virtual show. It's definitely something new for us because we were expected to be in person at the Agritecnica trade show expected in Hannover in February. This important event has been cancelled, and so we decided to take the opportunity of the new technologies, so the opportunity to talk over the internet, to give you some information about the company, who we are, and some of the people we present themselves to the audience, what we do and what's new. So basically the new products that we were planning to bring with us in Germany, and also just a handful of references we have in some countries. So I don't want to take too much time in my speech, and I want to give the stage to Nicoletta to give just a first introduction about the presentation. Then we will be moving to a quick introduction, just following the agenda that Isabel presented, and mainly focusing on products and people and where we are already present in the market. Thank you. Let's go ahead.
Thank you, Jacopo. Okay, I will share you my screen. Here we are. So, welcome again to this virtual show. Today, we will be presenting who we are and what we do, as well as a few projects we did in the past. Our today presentation is based on 5 W's, the classic journalistic W's. So I will start from the who, so who we are. Actually, we are many things. As you may already know, we're an Italian company, which is located in the northeastern part of Italy. But first of all, we are a group of men and women as well as a group of designers and engineers, as we have our technical department, an internal technical department, where we design and customize all our products. Also, we are a melting pot because among our staff, we have people from different countries speaking different languages. And also, of course, we are also manufacturers, as since the 1985, when the company was born, every product we have sold was realized were made here in Italy, in our main headquarters. So I will pass the speech to the floor to our Metalmont CEO, who will explain briefly our history. Jacopo.
Yes, one of the strengths is based on our history. So we started, as Nicoletta said, in 1986 officially. And this was the real foundation of our knowledge. At that time, Metalmont was working in a different field, but this was giving us a strong experience, especially on steel manufacturing. If you look at some of the products we were used to do, one is, for instance, military vehicles, which was forcing us to be very, very stringent to the most important rules and conformities. Moving to 1995, this is when officially Metalmont start with the production of the first serial handling equipment. We talk about the auger. Then the company was growing. We needed to relocate to a new headquarter. And now since 2010, we are in a quite big factory, over 4,000 square meter, covered square meter. It's really important to mention that since 2005, we are also certified according to the ISO 9001. And talking about what we have done so far, in 2004, we set the milestone of the first turnkey solution, which was a full supply of different kind of handling equipment, like chain conveyors, bucket elevators, systems for the pre-cleaning of cereals. So in 2008, another important milestone, because we did the very first installation of the automatic leveling system, what we call internally the robot, which was installed in Sardinia, in Italy. At the time, the customer was Cimbria. And since the time, we did a lot of improvement of this solution that will be presented afterwards by Luca, by Fabio, when talking about some installation around the world. Moving to the next slide, talking about the governance of the company. Since 2011, there is an official board of directors. Initially, this was with the members of the family, of the Meghini family. So my father, who was the founder of the company, myself, and my sister. So in 2020, my father passed away, and so we had to reorganize also in terms of governance the company. I'm in the role of president and CEO, but we have another member who joined the company, providing some other experiences and coming from another sector, another industry, and bringing, of course, new ideas. In terms of certification, we get better with some additional proof of what we do, and also how we comply with especially the need to be consistent when we do some structural carpentry, or when we export to the Eurasian markets, and also internally when we talk about the risk management. In terms of installation, looking at the bottom of this slide, 2011, we did a very, very strong customized solution. It was a telescopic chain conveyor. I'm just giving you some information, but of course we can discuss in a more detail some of these projects. The first big warehouse in Russia, and another big turnkey project which worth more than 1 million euro was definitely commissioned in Romania. So these are really a handful of milestones talking about Metalmont. It will be a pleasure if you want to know what we want to do in the future. So talking about the expected milestones in the next year, to have another meeting, hopefully also in person. My pleasure to give you all the information you're looking for, talking about Metalmont, its people, the products, and what we want to do in the market. Please, Nicoletta, let's go ahead with the other presentation and giving the stage to the other speaker.
Thank you, Jacopo. Thank you. So now I will move on to our second W, which is the W of Y. So basically, using this slide, I would like to introduce you where is Metalmont located, positioned in the grains global value chain. So as you know, these products are basically the most important ones for the food and feed for human and animal consumption. And as you may know, of course, in the journey of these products from the field to the fork, which is located right here, there are several operators that work with this product, starting from the producers, the farmers, going towards the traders that, of course, sell these products locally and overseas. And also then these products pass to the milling industries, as well as all the industries that make pasta, bread, and other products. And of course, these products also go to the animal feed industry that work with extracting oil from soya or seeds and using, of course, the oil for the human consumption, and afterwards using the byproducts like the soybean meal in producing pellets or feed for poultry or other kind of animals. And of course, the journey ends up in the retail, so the supermarket and our tables. So where is located Metalmont in this journey? Basically, it is located everywhere where it is needed storage. We're talking about the classic storage for silo plants, or even a warehouse. So of course, the farmers may need their storage facility for in the post-harvesting activities, as well as traders for, harbor structures, and of course the millers and the important companies like, for example, Barilla, they need to buy the products and store them before transforming them. And of course, the same for the animal feed industry. So basically, what is our main goal? Oh, first of all, I would like to say that according to the FAO organization, in 2018, 14% of the global food is lost. So 14% of these products is lost during the storage period when passing through these operators. So probably because the product is not stored well, is not stored properly. And what is our main goal? So talking about the 2030 agenda, is our main goal is to help, to support, to give our small contribution to the cereal value chain, helping to prevent and to reach to prevent hunger and to reach the Zero Hunger Millennium Goal. For what concerns the other goals, Jacopo will explain them briefly. Jacopo?
Yes, it's really important if you want to achieve the zero hunger target from the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to be consistent also with some other goals. So we want to be a leading company in our business, in our sector, in our market when it comes to good health and well-being, which is mainly focusing on the people working in the company, as well as to provide quality education, which means to provide all the not only training, but really courses all people in Metalmont are forced to do in order to improve the quality and the level of our internal know-how. Gender equality, it's a must. As Nicoletta said, we are a company of women and men, and we need to move on in this direction much more. Decent work and economic growth are some basic pillars to look to the future and to guarantee the continuity of the company, as well as focusing on innovation. And we want to be innovative, not only in terms of new products, not only in terms of new processes, but also in the way we are approaching the markets, especially when focusing on some emerging countries. So we want to be innovative in the way we are cooperating with other companies like partners with whom we were sharing the same value. Last, of course, we have to do our best to provide a responsible consumption, and in this regard, to work with our internal technical and research and development department to do to develop and design products that are even more efficient, reducing the consumption, the so-called carbon footprint, in order to be more consistent with the need to these sustainable development goals. Thank you. Let's move to the next stage.
Thank
Please,
you,
Nicoletta.
Jacopo. Thank you. We will now move ahead to the W of how. And my colleagues, Antonello Zanet, which is the technical department manager, and Alessandro De Vido, which is the operation manager, will explain which are the technologies used in Metalmont and the manufacturing processes. Antonello, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Nicoletta. Good morning, everybody. I am Antonello Zanet, the technical department manager. I've been working in Metalmont for 2 years now, with 20 years of experience in different fields. First of all, I would like to shortly introduce you the technical department activity. Our work includes design, CNC programming, and MRP planning. We develop programs for the processing of different kinds of material, such as steel, pre-galvanized steel, hardox, stainless steel, corten steel, copper, and brass, with several surface treatments as hot dip galvanization, painting, and sandblasting. Our products are designed internally, both for drawing through 2D and 3D software, according to the end user needs, and for dimensioning of the equipment and their main components. This allows us to constantly improve our products. In this way, we can quickly respond in case of need. What is really crucial to ensure the quality of our equipment is the teamwork among all the departments. Besides our technical internal team, we work together with consultants and cooperate with engineering companies for structural checks according to technical standards. We also work with local schools and universities. Concluding my introduction, I will say that our main strength is definitely our flexibility and attention we pay on end users' needs.
Great. Thank you, Antonello. Now it is time for The floor goes to Alessandro Davido, who will explain which are the processes used in Metalmont. And as he will talk in Italian, I will go ahead with translating his speech. Alessandro.
Buongiorno a tutti, sono Alessandro, responsabile della sala motori Metalmont, quindi tutto quello che è la costruzione delle nostre macchine ricade sotto la mia responsabilità.
Hello, my name is Alessandro. I'm the operation manager in Metalmont, so I'm responsible for the manufacturing of Metalmont equipment.
Oggi vi voglio raccontare in breve le nostre principali dotazioni tecnologiche, rinnovate anche di recente con l'acquisto di 2 nuove macchine del 2020.
Today, I would like to tell you about our main technologies, also recently renewed with the purchase of 2 new machines in 2020.
Queste dotazioni ci permettono di lavorare diversi tipi di metallo, come detto prima dal collega Antonello, e di avere una grande flessibilità costruttiva nella produzione.
This equipment allows us to work different types of metals, as mentioned earlier by our colleague Antonello, and to have great flexibility in production.
Partendo dall'inizio del processo produttivo, il taglio della lamiera è realizzato grazie a 3 diverse soluzioni, di cui 2 sono sistemi di taglio laser.
Starting from the beginning of the production process, sheet metal cutting is achieved thanks to 3 different solutions, 2 of which are laser cutting system.
Una di queste utilizza tecnologia fibra ottica che ci permette il taglio di lamiere di grandi dimensioni e spessori fino a 2 centimetri.
One of these uses a fiber optic technology and allows cutting of large sheets and thicknesses up to 2 centimeters.
Il sistema combinato di punzonatura e trancia di fogli lamiera ci permette di lavorare su altri tipi di materiali su cui non è possibile lavorare con il taglio laser, come ad esempio polizene usato nei rivestimenti dei trasportatori e degli elevatori.
The combined system of punching and shearing sheet metal allows us to work on other materials on which it is not possible to work with the laser, such as polysene used in the linings of conveyors and elevators.
Okay. Passando alla fase di piegatura, bisogna sottolineare che è per noi la fase più critica. Perché? Perché se i pezzi di lamiera vengono piegati male, anche l'operazione di assemblaggio ne risente.
Moving on to the bending phase, I have to highlight that it is the most critical phase for us. Why? Because if the sheet metal pieces are bent wrong, the assembly operation is also affected.
Assicurandoci una piega ottimale, riduciamo al minimo trafilamenti di prodotto o di polvere.
By ensuring an optimal fold, we reduce the leakage of product or dust to a minimum.
Quindi dalla qualità di piega dipende la qualità costruttiva dell'intera macchina. Per questo motivo il nostro personale frequenta costantemente corsi di formazione e di aggiornamento.
So the quality of the bending operation influences the quality of the entire machine. For this reason, our staff constantly attend training courses.
Per quanto riguarda le tecnologie usate, abbiamo in dotazione 3 macchine pressopiegatrici, di cui una ultima generazione con sistema di attrezzamento automatico e misurazione d'angolo laser.
As for the technologies we use, we are equipped with 4 bending machines, one of which is of the latest generation, with an automatic folding tooling system and a laser angle measurement system.
In Metalmont abbiamo personale specializzato e certificato che lavora nella saldatura da diversi anni. Alcuni di questi hanno anche la qualifica Welding Coordinator, capaci di lavorare su componenti strutturali necessari per quanto costruiamo sistemi come celle, tramogi e accessori di grandi dimensioni che vanno all'interno degli impianti.
In Metalmont, we have specialized and certified personnel who have been working in welding for several years. Some of these also have the qualification of welding coordinator, capable of working on structural components, which are necessary when we build big parts such as cells, hoppers, large accessories that goes inside the plants.
In quanto costruttori delle macchine, veniamo contattati dai clienti e utilizzatori finali quando capitano problemi e se c'è la necessità del nostro intervento. Io personalmente sono stato spesso coinvolto in attività di supporto e installazione e avviamento anche in diversi paesi come Russia, Arabia, Ucraina e altri ancora.
As manufacturers, we are contacted by customers and end users when problems arise or there is a need for our intervention. I am personally often involved in installation and startup support activities, even in various countries such as Russia, Saudi Arabia, Ukraine, and others. Thank you, Alessandro, for your speech. And now we will go ahead with our 4W, which is the W for what. So what do we do? Basically, our main activity is providing the grains operators, the grain global chain operators with all the storage facilities such as silo plants, the mechanization of silo plants, and the automation of the flat storage warehouses, which are particularly suitable for the storage of products such as pellets, feed mills, like for example, the soybean meal. But going on explaining which are our products, I will ask my colleague Luca Sacchi, which is one of our sales area managers, who will talk about the vertical and horizontal handling equipment that we have in our range. Luca, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Nika. Hi, everyone. I'm Luca Sacchi, sales area manager. I've been working in Metalmont for 5 years this year. With the following slide, we're going to have a quick view to our machine, let's say. So starting from the elevator. So basically, our elevator, we have several models that we can reach from 20 to 400 tons per hour as capacity. And well, the motor gears can be motor variant or not, is a standard solution. So the head of the elevator is mainly composed by an helical bevel gear motor, which is directly coupled to the driving shaft. And well, it is charge open, and you can see from the video. Moving inside the head, let's say the elevator, the elevator wheel, the driving one is rubbered and rubbered and bombed in order to center the belt. And then we have to support with self-aligning bore bearing and shielded to prevent the dust. The belt conveyor, the belt of the elevator is made of anti-static, anti-oil, and flame retardant properties as a standard solution. The elevator ducts or leg, the standard solution are press folded and welded. But while from this year we can have an option the duct which are bolted, and this is more convenient for different aspects, let's say. And moving to the last part of the machine, let's say the tail. Sorry, Nika. The tail of the elevator is composed mainly by double screw belt tensioning, and inside the wheel is not like the driving one, but is a squirrel cage wheel in order to prevent the product to be stuck in it. So now we can move to our chain conveyor. So the chain conveyor, as the elevator, we can have the capacity. We cover the capacity for 40 to 400 tons per hour. The head is composed by a helical bevel gear motor, which is covered by the protective dive, and as standard, we use the anti-clogging sensor. The inside of the head, as you can show in the video, the driving wheel is a toothed wheel, and also here we have the shaft with the two super with self-aligning bore bearings. The casing of our machine is bolted and made of pre-galvanized steel sheet as a standard solution. Then we can have several different materials. We can use also corten, inox, and whatever the needs of the client. The chain is a steel chain which with the link is folded links, but we can use different chain for jet chain will welded scraper. The chain run on a two sliding block which is made of polyethylene. Last part of the machine is the tail, where we have the support, which is always self-aligning ball bearings, and tension slide in order to tension the chain. And the standard at the tail, we use always the speed sensor. Now we can move quickly to the belt conveyor. So with this model, we have 3 models, and we can cover the capacity up to 400 tons per hour. The driving wheel is rubbered and is rubbered, and the head is always the same. So two super with self-aligning ball bearings and the helical bevel gear motor. Our standard belt for this conveyor is like the elevator, so is made of anti-oil, anti-static, and flame retardant material. And is a black rubber with some plies inside of it, depending on the model. The optional tripper for material discharge is used when we use the belt conveyor in the warehouse. The casing is formed by bolted element in pre-galvanized steel sheet, and according to the model, we have 2 or 3 incliner rollers in the upper part and 1 horizontal roller every 3 meters on the lower part. The tail, okay, this is a counterweight system which is used when the conveyor is longer than 60 meters usually. Okay, the tail is composed by the idler wheel, which is not coated, and also here we have the screw belt tensioner in order to tension the belt, and also in this case we use the speed sensor as a standard solution. Okay, you can move into the screw conveyor, which is screw conveyor, the CA model. Okay, this is basically a basic machine, let's say, which is composed by the head, the tail, and a casing. The casing is shaped around the auger in order to prevent residuals in the product in the machine. And also in this case, the head is equipped with an anti-clogging sensor, and the tail has the speed sensor. So moving to the last machine I'm going to show you is the machine that is used to unload the silo. Okay, we call it the sweep auger, the CS series, and with the 3 model, we cover the capacity up to 80 tons per hour. So basically, it's composed by a helical worm gear motor with a rotating counter for the motor power supply, and the casing is a star distractor in order to support the loads of the material inside the warehouse. And there is the flow rate adjustment strap that is used in order to control the flow rate of the machine itself. The advancement of the machine as standard solution, we use the step-by-step rotation, or optionally we can have also with the wheel. So okay, thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Luca. And now it is time for presenting our cleaning solutions and the solution for the automation of flash storage warehouses. So now it's time for the presentation of Fabio Alfieri, which is the second sales area manager of Metalmont. Fabio.
Thank you, Nicoletta. Good morning, everybody. I am Fabio Alfieri, mechanical engineer and sales area manager for some foreign countries as Romania, Portugal, UK, Ivory Coast, and others. Today I will talk about first about the cleaning system that we propose that are in green. We talk about rotary cleaner and air cleaner that can be integrated. The rotary cleaner is a solution that is very important for cleaning the material coming from the field where bad elements have to be removed from the material to be stored, and it is important to do this operation before the storage and also before the drying process, because otherwise bad material in the dryer can generate other problems. Also, it's important before the storage because these bad elements can have as a consequence the degradation of the stored material in the silos or in the warehouse. So the rotary cleaner that is visible in these slides is just a big drum. The rotation is driven by a motor gear, and it is possible to install several screens having different holes, where the size of the hose is according to the material to be cleaned, to the capacity of the machine, to the humidity, and so on. There are several parameters to be considered for this. It is possible to have some accessories as a lining in the bottom, for example, or a different control of the motor gear, the inclination of the drum, and so on. And it is also possible to integrate the rotary cleaner with the air cleaner on top, or chain conveyor or screw conveyor in the bottom for the evacuation of the good and the bad product. Here it is a scheme of the working principle that is very simple. The capacities are from 20 to 400 tons per hour according to the size of the machine. And in our standard, we use the motor gears by Motovario or Nord. It is possible also to have the ATEX 22 version of these machines. The same is for the air cleaner. The air cleaner are 4 types. 2 can work as a standalone machine that are the PI inclined, and a PB that is a kind of a 2 session of air cleaning, while the PA and PD that are quite bigger and can obtain a bigger capacity can be better integrated on top of the rotary cleaner PR. In this picture, we see the PD, that is the very best solution, because it is possible to do first a separation by air or course, first the separation of the light elements, then a separation of parts as leaves and something like that, that are driven out by a screw conveyor integrated in this machine. And I think that for the cleaner, it's enough. Then we move to the solution that we call the robot, a leveling system for filling, leveling, and emptying flat storage warehouses, where it is possible to do the storage of grains as corn, maize, rapeseed, sunflower, but also to do the storage of byproducts as soybean meal or sunflower meals that usually are very difficult to be manipulated because they are not free-flowing, they are quite sticky. And in that case, the storage in the grain bins is much more difficult. So for these kind of materials, the reclaimer, the robot, how we call it, it's a very good solution. It consists of a kind of a very big chain conveyor suspended on a metal support. There is a kind of truss, and these 2 elements are supported by moving hoist suspended to the roof of the warehouse. The solution is integrated with full control by PLC and supervision personal computer with the software that we develop according to the characteristics, to the property of the warehouse and the material to be stored. It can work in an automated way 24/7 without the control of a person, of people inside the warehouse, but just from a distance, from a control room. And now we're going to see a quick presentation with some pictures. Here, for example, we have a section of the warehouse where we see the first loading phase that is thanks to a belt conveyor or chain conveyor that will load the material in the warehouse, and then the robot will distribute the material inside the warehouse. Here we see a plant in Romania, in this case, where there is a belt conveyor driving the material inside the warehouse. The position where the material will come down is set by a tripper car, moving, and in the bottom here we see also the robot working for distributing the material in the warehouse. When the material is just in the warehouse, we see now the leveling phase that consists in a better distribution and full leveling of the volume of the warehouse. This is a big installation in Russia that will be explained also by my colleague Rasim later on. Then it is possible to integrate the robot with a system for controlling the temperature inside the material. That is very important because it's a solution for having information about possible degradation as fermentation and others. It is possible to set a grid of measurements inside the material and to have a feedback, positive or negative, about the temperature. Also, a remote control on the smartphone or in remote position. Then when it is, okay, sorry, here we have the video showing in a very quick way, it's accelerated, the working principle of this system for checking the temperature inside. It's a probe, temperature probe, that is pushed inside the material and is placed along the volume of the warehouse. Then when it is time to deliver the material to the mills or others, we can start with the gravity discharge by opening some shutters and loading some chain conveyors or belt conveyor for evacuation to trains or trucks. And when the gravity discharge doesn't work, it's possible to start the working of the robot that will go down and displace the material to the chain conveyor for the evacuation. Everything, as I said, is controlled by a supervision PC that can be installed in a control room, and it is also possible to control that by remote. In Metalmont, it is possible to call Alessandro and to ask, for example, to check the parameters of the PLC instead of some parameters of the inverter controlling the motors. We can give this kind of assistance from Metalmont. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Fabio, for your presentation. And now it is time for presenting you our two new solution, which integrates the Metalmont range. So I will give the floor to Antonello Zanet, the technical department manager, who will introduce you our first new solution, which is the trench chain conveyor. Antonello, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nika. As you may know, the Agritechnica trade show in Hanover that was supposed to take place in February was cancelled due to the current pandemic situation. During the fair, we wanted to present two new solutions that I will be describing today. One for the handling of grains from pit and the other one for the silo discharge. Concerning the first solution, we are talking about a trench chain conveyor, and we got the idea from our customers and end users' needs. You can use this kind of equipment when there is no chance to have a traditional pit, but there is a need to handle the product on an upper level in a limited area. This is possible thanks to an inclined section, which can be single or double, that can reach 45 degrees. This solution also allows us to avoid civil works, saving time and money. In fact, thanks to its inclined section, this trench conveyor can be installed above ground in order to load bucket elevator or other equipment or machine. You can see the simulation. In this simulation, above ground, in this case. Okay, Nika, if you want to pass to the other solution. Now, our second new solution, born also to fit customers' needs, is the sweep chain conveyor for unloading the product from the silo. we can describe it as an upgrade of the classic sweeping screws. Nika, if you start the video, thanks. This solution has 3 characteristics. First one, a better cleaning result of the silo bottom thanks to rubber pedals that move very close to the surface. The second one is a more gentle product handling, and the last characteristic is the access of less stuff inside the silo because of better cleaning by sweep chain conveyor and ensure more safety. Okay. Now we can start the other video. Now you can see the sweep chain conveyor put in place inside the silo. In this simulation, you can see how the sweep chain conveyor is located inside the silo. First, the silo discharged by gravity from the central point opening the main shutter. Afterwards, the sweep chain conveyor working in sync together with the chain conveyor on the bottom. Okay, Nika, the other video. Oh, as you can see in this video,
Okay, go ahead. It is a bit slow, the video, but
sorry. As you can see in the video, the sweep chain conveyor is operating on barely. The structure of the machine is very strong to support the weight of the material. The rotation is allowed by a motor gear connected to a rubber coated wheel. As you can see, we are in highly dusty environment to ensure the safety required in this kind of places. And we supply ATEX 21 motor gear. You can see very well in this video how the pedal work fixed on the chain, handling the product toward the central unloading point. Okay. In the next video, you can see very well how the bottom of silo remains totally clean.
great. Thank you so much, Antonello, for your presentation. It was very clear. So now it is time for our last W, and it is a W for where, meaning the presence of Metalmont globally. So it is time for all our sales area manager for explaining, for showing a few case studies about some projects we have made in some countries. And our first presentation is by Rasim Pashayev, which is the sales area manager for Russia and CIS countries. Rasim, the stage is yours.
Good day. Thank you, Nicoletta. Good day. My name is Rasim Pashayev, and I am sales area manager of Metalmont. As was introduced, I will explain the key turn project, which is the reference project of Metalmont in Russian Federation, installed in 2018 in the Lipetsk region of Russia for the customer or Agro Elevator. This project was born as the extension of the existing traditional silos storage plant. So the Metalmont, together with the local partners, has projected, constructed, and installed the storehouses with the capacity, the flat storehouse with the capacity of 40,000 ton. The product, main product is grain, also also corn and sunflower seeds. This storehouse is divided in the 4 section, 10,000 ton each section. As I told previously, the project is completely turnkey project. It's starting from the filling pit, loading, following loading of the product inside the storehouse, unloading and distributing of the product in each section, unloading thanks to robot installed inside with the capacity of 200 ton per hour. And it's also followed by the rapid loading to the auto vehicles. As also was explained before by Fabio, the temperature control system, the project has also temperature control system, which allows a customer to remotely to observe the temperature of the product inside. And also Metalmont has supplied the forced ventilation for each section, so the customer can access and ventilate by the need, the ventilation. So at the end, I would like to add that this is the reference project in Russia. It's functional and maintained in good way, and it also remotely connected. Thank you.
Thank you, Rasim. Thank you. So now the floor goes to Luca Sacchi, that will explain a few projects in the countries of his concern. Luca, which one would you like to start from?
Yeah, you can start from Ukraine.
Okay.
So we work in Ukraine since 2014, but this one, the end user is Agrosvit. This one was installed in 2017. We use this because it's, let's say, the biggest plant we have there in Ukraine so far. So there we supplied more or less all our machine, bucket elevator, chain conveyor, belt conveyor, and all the related accessory, hopper, shutters, diverter, valve. And yeah, this works good at this plant with no trouble actually. So it's a really good reference we have there in Ukraine. And moving to the other one, Nika in Italy. So this one, as was mentioned by Jacopo at the beginning of the presentation, this one is the first plant where we placed 2 robots, not one actually. Yeah, and the customer was Kimbria, and yeah, this robot works since 2008 with no problem. So this is basically what we want to show. So Nika, I finish. Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. And last but not least, Fabio will explain a few things about his projects. And which one would you like to start from, Fabio?
Yes, here we have 3 special projects. We can start with Ivory Coast, where we have produced some machines for manipulation of cocoa beans. And this is special because the machines must run quite slow. Otherwise, if the beans are broken, they are not useful for producing the chocolate. That is why we have developed this machine at a speed that is more or less half of the standard. And also in the bucket elevators, we have special buckets again for respecting in the proper way this kind of material. For us, this present is strategic because we are confident that the African market can grow a lot, so it can be a starting point for developing this market. Then we can go to Portugal. Here we show a plant where there is transport manipulation of maize and rice. And the rice is very important for Portugal because of the, let's say, tradition in terms of cereals that are cultivated. And so in this case, we supplied several machines, including a chain conveyor with 2 angles, as Antonello presented the new Cobra chain conveyor. It was, let's say, a first prototype with the 2 angles that was necessary to pass through other existing machines. Then we can go to Saudi Arabia in Jeddah. Okay, no problem. Which one? Okay, that is a single robot that was supplied for a warehouse where soybean meals is stored to be used then for producing pellets for poultry as a feed. And in this case, the material is not free-flowing, it's difficult to be treated, is sticky and full of dust and powder. And so we had to develop this ATEX22 machine and also to integrate it with a special software because of the evacuation of the material that is difficult. Then last but not least, one of our biggest installation that is in Romania, next to the Danube River. We started in 2006 with the machines to the right side of the picture, so standard machine for grain beans. And then we supplied several machines in many years, up to yesterday, let's say. And in 2014, the customer decided to install 2 warehouses. One is visible in the left side, and these 2 warehouses are each one equipped with a robot. So in this case, it's for us a reference customer because we can show to all the customer how this robot can work integrated with the other machines in our product range. I think that can be enough for these markets. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. So for our presentation, this is pretty all. Before we start our Q&A session, I will give just a few information about quick information. These are our contact details, and I remind you that we are also present in LinkedIn, YouTube, and VK. Don't worry if you didn't have the chance to see to watch well all the videos we have presented today, because they will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. In the next days, I will send you an email with all the details and the links. And finally, I remind you that all the information you can find about our products and our company, you can find it on our website, as well as all the brochure products in the download section.